Hi, today I'm going to make red wine jelly, and I'm going to take you through it step by step so you can see everything that's involved in it. The ingredients basically are pretty simple. It's a bottle of dry red wine, pectin, and sugar, and lemon juice. And the recipe from Ball's Complete Book of Home Preserving, and if you go to my website, www.allthingscanning.com, under the Equipment and Safety tab, there is a link to purchase this book. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've got all my ingredients already measured out and waiting to be added. Here are my ingredients. I have 3 1/4 cups of dry red wine, and that's pretty much basically the whole bottle. There's a little tiny bit left of a 750 milliliter bottle. 1/2 cup of lemon juice, 50 grams of regular fruit pectin, and 4 1/2 cups of sugar. And so now I'm going to add the lemon juice and the red wine to my pot. Okay, there is the red wine, lemon juice, and all the pectin are whisked together. So now what I need to do is bring it up to a boil. I'm following the directions step by step. Bring to a boil over high heat. And I'm going to stir it frequently. So I'm just going to wait until it boils. And just keep stirring it. Okay, as you see, it's coming to a boil, so I'm going to pour all the sugar in all at once. That's why you want to have it measured and ready to go. And the pot is kind of big, but you'll need a big pot because you'll see the water when it gets to a hard boil is going to boil all the way up almost to the top of the pot. So I'm going to put the sugar in. And then now I need to stir it and dissolve the sugar and wait for it to come back to a hard boil. And I will show you what a hard boil is, because this is where most people make a mistake, is they don't get it boiling hard enough, and then it results in a jelly or jam that really doesn't set up. So when I get to a hard boil, I'll come back and show you what that looks like. So right now we're just going to stir it until all the sugar dissolves, and then wait for that hard boil. As you can see, it's starting to boil. And for it to be a hard boil, you're not able to stir it down. And it almost gets to the top of the pot, it boils so hard. So that's basically what a hard boil looks like. So you need to keep stirring it and time it for 2 minutes. I'm going to set my timer now. And keep stirring constantly. And then once the 2 minutes is up, then you'll need to remove it from the heat immediately, and then there'll be a foam at the top that collects at the top of the jelly, and you'll need to scrape all that out and just put it in a bowl and get it out, get as much out of it as you can, and then you can put it into your jars. I already have my jars sterilized. I put them in the dishwasher this time to sterilize them, so they're just sitting there waiting, and they're nice and sterilized and hot and ready to go. So this is what the hard boil looks like, and make sure you can get yours up to a hard boil. That way it helps with the gelling. Otherwise you'll just end up with like a syrup. Okay, my timer went off. It's been hard boiled for 2 minutes. Now I'm just going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to let all that foam come up to the top and quickly scrape it off. Being that I used a red wine and not really a fruit, there's probably not going to be much foam to scrape off, so as you can see. But if you're using fruit, there's going to be a lot of foam at the top that you'll need to scrape off. So now I'm going to go get my jars out of the dishwasher and get them ready to fill. This recipe calls for, it says it'll make 8-ounce jars. It said it'll make 6 8-ounce jars, but I want them in these little 4-ounce jars, so I have 12 of them with a few extras, just in case I have some extras. So I'm going to go ahead and fill them, leaving a 1/4 inch head space. The reason I'm using these small jars is because this is not really a jelly that you want to put on toast in the morning. It's basically something that you can use as like a glaze for beef, or you can put it over some cream cheese for crackers, cream cheese and crackers, and it's really good. So you don't really want to use the whole 8-ounce jar for that. And these make good gifts also, the little jars. I just have enough. One last one. And I always like to leave a little bit over so I can taste it and make sure it tastes good when it's all done. So there's a tiny bit left in that pot. Alright, I think we're good. This one looks like I might have a little too much, so I'm going to empty some of that out. Scoop a little bit out with the spoon and add it to another one that doesn't have quite as much. This one has a little too much. This one seemed to have a little too much. Okay, I think we're okay with all the other ones. So what I'm going to do now is wipe the rim of these with a wet paper towel and then put my lids and bands on. And the reason you wipe the lids is to get all the jelly off of the rim, because if you don't, then it might not seal. Oh, these look beautiful. It smells wonderful too. Alright, now I'm going to put the lids on the bands. They've been simmering in a pot on the stove. We don't want them to boil. You just want to bring them up to a simmer and keep them warm. You don't need to worry about getting it all the way tight right now. You can do that after all of them are covered. Sometimes those suckers don't want to go on. Make sure you shake as much water off as you can off of the lid and band so it doesn't get into the jam. Last one. Okay, now I'm going to use a towel and just get these fingertip tight and get them ready to go into the water bath canner. I want to use a towel because they're still pretty hot. Okay, there you go. There they are. They're all ready to go into the water bath canner. Make sure I use my jar lifter so I don't burn my hands. So one by one I'm going to put them into my water bath canner. That big pot right there, I already have it going with some water. It's actually already boiling. And once I put these in there, the boiling is probably going to stop. So you want to bring it back up to a boil. And once it reaches a full boil again, you time it for 10 minutes. When the timer goes off, then you take the lid off of the pot and leave the jelly jars in there, and then time it for another 5 minutes. And then when those 5 minutes are up, then you can take the jars out of the pot and set them on a towel on a counter. You want to make sure you use a towel because if you set the hot jars on a cold counter, they might crack. And also when you're putting jars into your water bath canner, you cannot stack them. So they have to be in a single layer in the pot. So you need to make sure you don't make too many jars that won't fit in the pot. Okay, there they are, 12 beautiful jars of red wine jelly ready for a block of cream cheese or a nice roast beef.